So there is this meme going around that Hunter Avalon and Vosh, who is Ian Kocinski, would be the owner of a talisman. I don't know where you heard this from or why anyone acknowledges the history of the Remulans, which is a fictional comic book character meant to disgrace a lower class. But the Remulans were disguised as virtue signalers, which means they have ability to electrify people. So if you're defining electricity and protoplasm as a race, this race would be independent and free on all levels. Not only does the level of freedom reach peak velocity when you're terminal, this terminal velocity is agricultural, which means it independently virtues a signal to itself rather than to other people. So, if you understand that selfishness is an orthodoxy of talisman, not only do you hold on to the talisman erases your composite. So, the composite of the talisman is actually part of your body that does not reject but accepts the intuition of Jesuitical suicide. So, under Jesuitical suicide, not only does the right to bear arms deny itself, the right to be federated in a community is applicable only to the state, and states are the decider of compository factions within your community. Now, whether or not a talisman owns the composite is really up to the person. Because if you can trade composite, not only does the talisman affect the ability to arrange a society based on that composite, the society is a declaration of what your talisman is. So to really get a reach on how big this society is, rather than how small these artifacts are, there is ritual bondage. So ritual bondage happens on all levels of the society, not just on the talisman level. So under ritual bondage, not only does the ability to reject the talisman occur, the talisman has to be able to arrange composite. So if you are unable to arrange composite on all levels of society, not only are you rejected from the ability to comprehend this composite is actually a fruit. It is not considered vegetable. It is considered orthodoxy. So if fruits of labor are stolen, not only does the fruit of labor use the ability to become a denouncing of commodity occur, commodity is a essence. And under essences, the ability to create offspring is a generational effect. So if the offspring of this fruit is to be rejected, not only does the society must come down on reaching whether or not it is acceptable to breed with the fruit has to be able to shear. So shearing of the fur of the fruit not only matters the existence of the composite has to retain its fruit form. So if you accept the fact that commodities are fruitless, not only do you reject the entirety of what it means to be a breedable subject, the subjugation of a fruit is actually within your grasp. So this is how your hand becomes a talisman. It becomes a tool of the state to exist. So not only does the society reach down from heaven, the society is granted by the kingdom of humanity. So not only is humanity and heaven formed in a union to bring you the ability to create an artifact, the artifact is breedable, which means it is erasable. It has no existence but the ability to comprehend death. So not only is death the necessitating factor on whether or not you get these fruit, there is an arrangement to be made on how society exists to reject the idea that the hand is there to steal. So stealing of the fruit of labor not only exists on the level that comprehension denies the artifact, but if the artifact has arrangement to it, the identity of the artifact is concealable. And concealable suicide is actually a crime against human nature because human nature rejects the idea that humans exist. They think they are animals. So, under animal nature, does the human part of the human retain its freedom or does it become deities? So, under deification, the human labor is always exploitable because it is not usable. And underusable labor, the exploitation of human matter, is actually the existence of number as identity in Trinity. So Trinity is mass, but all binary is rejected for form and art. So if art is tradable, not only does the existence of the fruit have to breed, it has to exist dependent upon art. So art is tradable to the person under the condition that the breeding stops. So if breeding stops, not only does the art exist, the art is transplanted into subjectivity, which is called coin. And coin is the virtue of money, which means that you exist to trade an item for mass. And mass does not exist to serve commodity, but serves the subject of society. And society would be an arrangement to keep coins fresh, minted, and composited. So if you arrange for a coin to be created under art would be rejected for the idea that society is a kleptocracy of unions that do not organize, but instead subjugate.